For those of you who don't know me, you maybe just got jumped on for the first time or shared from somebody else. My name's Robert Hollis Jr. And, this is kind of a continuation from yesterday's Periscope when I was kind of talking about, people with their New Year's resolutions and, kind of my opinion of the 80%ers, what you would want to do to actually start seeing and having success. And, this is kind of a continuation of it. I did that more yesterday just as, get back in the groove of Periscopes. And this is one that, I actually recently just kind of learned for the first time myself from going to church. It's not necessarily a new concept, but it was ascribed to me in such a way that I'd never heard before. And I remember sitting in church and, I just couldn't wait. I was trying to take notes on my phone. I ended up rewatching it on the internet and, just really, really wanted to share this with you guys. And for me, it kind of comes from a concept. If you haven't heard of this before, there's a concept out there that a lot of people just focus on having part. See, the law of attraction says that that's a good thing to have. You got to focus on really, what you want before you have, though you have to do. Okay, that's another easy one. And there's a lot of training out there as far as what to do, how to do it, and I can get into that stuff later. And before you do, you have to be. And before you be, more importantly, you got to think. Now, today's 100% focus will be on the being part. If you guys saw my tagline is, who do you want to be? I feel like there's a lot of people right now in the New Year's where, everybody's writing down their New Year's resolutions and their goals and they're focusing on what I have to do, what I have to do. They're just always just focused on the doing part, but people don't realize you got to take a step back and really make the time to figure out is what you want to be. This is a challenge for each and every one of you. And if you're the kind of person like I am, you've already set your goals and, you got your resolutions, that's okay. You can always reevaluate. Today's another New Year's. Who cares about the date? But my goal my challenge for each and every one of you watching this is you should always define who you want to be before you decide what you're going to do. That is such an important statement. When I heard that, guys, it was like, I've heard that before, but, I just don't, when you're setting down your goals and your resolutions and things that you're doing, how do you know that the things that you're doing and your goals are really leading you down the path of who you want to be? And there's a couple things that I'd like to share with you guys. And these are the two things that I, learned for the first time just recently and is really taking me to a different level as far as my thinking and my action of doing. And, it's two things that I would highly encourage each and every one of you to do watching this. And, also for disclaimer, as I'm doing these Periscopes, I know there's a lot of people on here that know me. I like having fun. I like having, great topics and, doing stuff like that. And the last couple Periscopes have been kind of personally a little deep and to the point, and this is going to be another one of those, and they're not always going to be this way, but I'm going to kind of probably strike on some chords with people here and get really serious with people. The first one that I challenge you guys to do is find out your personal mission statement. Your personal mission statement. See, you look up any Fortune 500 company, any big organization, churches, federations, any of these things, movements, causes that change the world, they all have a mission statement. Look up Apple, look up, Verizon, all these companies have mission statements. What's your mission statement? And let me kind of help you guys clarify this a little bit. What your mission statement would be what would be on your tombstone? What are people gonna remember you by? Now, I know that's kind of a deep statement, and it's funny because I was thinking about this and I was even looking online. Guys, go look online. How are people gonna remember you? There's people that have tombstones that it's like, man, this guy loved bacon. I kid you not. I was just looking up, funny tombstones just to see what was out there. And there's a guy out there that says, I love bacon. That was his mission statement. I mean, are you serious? I know there's some people watching this that it's like, man, he was the best Packers fan I ever met, or the biggest Lakers fan I ever met, or, think about this, we got 60, 70, 80, maybe 90 years if you take care of yourself, in a theoretically, that's a long period of time, but it's also a short period of time. What are people going to remember you by? See, this is something that can keep your focus on track of where you're gonna go. You know, if you're looking at your mission statement, it's like, wow, here lies the most unbelievable average person I've ever met in my life. Is that the legacy that you want to leave behind? Is that something that is going to be written on your tombstone? I want each and every one of you to think of this. And like I said, I knew I was going to get a little deep with some people here. And I don't mean to be grim or, you know, kind of get off on a bad topic, but it's going to happen. We all know it is. You know, me recently, and I don't want to, because it's a negative, you know, topic, I don't want to go into it, but there's some people close to me that are my age that it doesn't look good for them right now. So if you just jumped on a next door neighbor kids or your kids, little power hovercraft, whatever those things are called, and you flew out in traffic, boom, you're gone. And your friends and family, the closest people around you, had to sit around and they were honest. What would they put on their tombstone? What was the legacy that you left behind? See, this is something that can guide you as you're setting up your goals. Because, everybody, one of us has ADD nowadays, always dealing with distractions. It's like, well, listen, this year squirrel, woo, oh my gosh, it's new, we get sidetracked and we find out we do a lot of things every single day that's not necessarily ending up to where our true mission statement is. And if, my challenge for everybody watching this is get started today with the end in mind. There's so many people that are theoretically, I guess, they're making these goals and these plans and these resolutions around this year about right now. What do I need right now? What are my needs? What are the things I want to take care of? The things that I need right now, and they're not serving the ultimate purpose of what's going on your tombstone. So I really want you guys to think of that. And I know this is a very touchy subject for a lot of people because, even me, I was going, my gosh, I know what I want to do. I've got this, mission in my mind, but have I ever sat down and wrote my mission statement? I suggest, wherever your passion is, if your passion is just success, look up successful people. Bible's got a lot of quotes on things from mission statements. And I'm still working on mine, and this isn't final. I'm just going to be transparent with you guys. As people are following me, the one thing that you will learn about me is I'm just transparent. I'd rather be honest and upfront with you guys and open and tell you how I feel instead of putting on this facade, So I can tell you guys that me going to write down my mission statement was hard. I'm going, gosh, what would be on my tombstone? Because once again, this mission statement, how many people have ever seen the tombstone? And it's like, here lies Robert Hollis Jr. He was triple black diamond ambassador, crown royal of a company. That's his mission. I don't want that on my gravestone. Are you kidding me? And I really thought of it, and it's like, gosh, I want to be an outstanding father and husband. Live a life of abundance so I can serve God and be an example to others so I can inspire and motivate them to catch their dreams. Now when I'm looking at my goals and my mission and my resolutions, those are the things that are going to serve my end purpose? See, because one of them is I need to get in better shape. Why? Well, if I need to be an outstanding father, I'm 33 years old. My son's a year and a half when he turns 10, 11, 12. Do I want to be the father that sits on the sideline and roots him on, or do I want to strap on the snowboard with him? Do I want to be able to participate in his life? That's an outstanding father. Being an outstanding husband, is somebody that's there to provide and provide and support, nurture. Be able to do the things and spend time. I always say this, and I've said it in a lot of different trainings. How does your significant others, your children, spell love? T-I-M-E. And I'm the person that's not motivated by money, so that's why I said I want to live a life of abundance. Why? Because if you truly wanted to be a servant to God, wouldn't it be amazing to have abundance to be able to give, to be able to travel, to be able to speak word? And there's a lot of people, and I hope people don't get offended by this, of people that want to just do nothing but coach and mentor people. But, my mentor said it the best. Documentation beats conversation. I would like to live the life to inspire others, to know that they can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And the second part of this is sitting down and writing your core values, your personal core values. Now, once again, to kind of put this in context, this is what people would say about you at your funeral, how they would describe you. Because your personal core values are things that are going to be like the bumpers that are going to guide you on your path to your end mission. None of us are perfect. None of us, are going to have everything worked out. But if you have certain core values that you can hold on to, I really want you guys to think about this, because when I heard this statement, it popped for me. Because if you physically write down what your core values are, the things that you want to be described as, the things that people would, at your funeral, your personal core values, and the things that they would say, because I've had this question asked all the time. Well, what do you think success is? What's the definition of success? Well, if you know what your core values are and you're doing those every day and you're living up to those end up being your personal definition of what success is. So like I said, going all the way back to what your core values are and your mission statement, do I want to be described? Like I said, my son, it's a touchy situation or emotional thing for me. That's why I always bring it up. Is, you know what? My father, guess what? He was an amazing man. He always hit his goals. He always had a lot of money. We have a lot of nice cars and homes. But I'd give it all away to have more time with him. I got to figure out how to make sure calls don't come in and still be online. So, but like I said, do I want to be described like that? Wife stand up there and go, you know what? He was always a man that provided for the family and always took care of us. But just very rarely ever took me out on a date. He was always inspiring others, but never had the time to inspire me. See, how are people going to describe you? Where's your end goal? Where are the things that really mean the most to you? Because at the end of the day, why wouldn't you want to have core values to guide you into where you want to go in life? Because like I said at the start of this, why I wanted to do this, and I didn't want to make it too long, is everybody always talks about, do, go. Now, am I saying those things are bad? No. Any successful person in my eyes has resolutions. They have goals. If you're a very successful business, you actually got goals from month to month to month. So I'm not saying those things are bad, but you got to revolve those goals around your end game. Who do you want to be? So the challenge and takeaway for everybody watching this is, reevaluate and look at your goals and your challenges and, define who you want to be before you decide what you want to do. And once you figure that out, guys, it's almost like everything else becomes more easy. Do you want to leave a legacy as the most hardest worker anybody ever knew? Do you want to leave a legacy behind to the person that, was always on top of every company? Or do you want to leave a legacy behind to the person that was the biggest giver, that had the biggest heart, that took care of the family, that was able to do amazing things and travel the world and help people and not be just known as the guy that hit their goals? Because I know people like that, ladies and gentlemen. They're extremely, extremely successful people. And, I want you to think about this as well, on your goals, is that if you don't have, something around your personal mission, your mission statement that's not about you, you're gonna lead an unfulfilled life. Look at all these actors and athletes, and they're the most incredible people in the world, and they hit all their goals, and they're the champion, and they're the winner, and they end up being depressed because they did all for them. See, not to touch on anybody's spiritual beliefs, but if you're not doing it for God or your family or your children or the people around you, your team, when you can find somebody else to pull your inspiration from, and the reason why you're doing this is when you'll go straight to the top. So guys, who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What is your mission statement? And I would love for, each and every one of you, you can follow me at caughthedream.com. That's my Facebook page. Reach out to me there. Say, man, my mission statement is this. I'd love to hear what your guys' mission statements is. I kind of shared with you roughly what mine is going to be. I'm still praying on it and really, just soaking this all in because it's a huge task, but I know it's making the world a difference in my life. And guys, I pray that it hopes and makes a difference in yours. So God bless. Robert Hollis Jr. signing off.